Why, hello, welcome back to the final episode of Movie in a Hunt for the year of our Lord, 2023. I am RJ, also known as King Lasagna, King of the Lasagna.
I am Paige, Queen Lactose Intolerant.
Queen Alfredo. Queen of the Alfredo. Today we are watching a movie that was as ridiculous as our intro, Army of Darkness, also known as Evil Dead 3, also known as Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness.
The one where Ash gets stuck in the Holy Grail.
This trailer, okay, so let's go behind the scenes a little bit quickly. We ended up having to start like an hour later today than usual, which is good because it allowed me to watch the trailer 3 times to kind of process what the fuck I was watching. Because the first time I watched it, I got to a part and I was like, did I just like phase out for half of it? What the fuck's going on? Because I thought I was watching this and then it happened again in the same spot. And then I watched it the 3rd time and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm about to walk into. But all I know is this trailer. I couldn't get the 3rd song. I couldn't figure it out. But this uses the first song in the trailer is using Sad But True by Metallica. And then Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue is the 2nd song, like when they do the different songs in the background.
What?
Yeah, I was like, I know these good. Well, Sad But True, I was like, oh God, is this Kid Rock's American Badass? Gross. And then I was like, oh no, this came out before that. So I literally did research while I was waiting for you. I'm like, so what song did American Badass copy? They were like, it's Sad But True by Metallica. I was like, fantastic.
That's the song.
And then the other one, I was like, that's Dr. Feelgood. I know that riff very well. 3rd one, I couldn't figure out. This movie is, I don't know what the fuck I'm walking into.
It's so
It was like
strange.
a montage. It was like a fever dream. I thought I was on drugs possibly from like how confused I was.
I know we've done this before. I can't remember what movie it was, but we talked about how the trailer felt so VHS 90s. There was a movie
that was any movie that we watched that was in the 90s felt like VHS 90s.
Yeah, this one specifically really did seem like it was like, this is what you're going to be seeing when you pop into VHS and there's like an advertisement.
Especially that like Army of Darkness logo, that very cheap logo.
I loved it. I was like, it's horrible.
I loved it, but they were like, Army of Darkness, and then the logo goes away, and you're like, this time it gets crazy. Army of Darkness. Like, why are we showing the logo again? We couldn't just show it once.
They're so proud of it.
And then like I think maybe it exploded or something, and like cuts to the end, and I was like, Universal Pictures, you guys upgraded.
Yeah.
I see the budget in the trailer.
But I'm excited to watch this one because it's so nuts. It's so stupid, but it's a lot of fun.
I will say that ending bit with the logo, I was like, graphic design is this person's passion. They're so passionate about it, they had to show it twice.
Oh yeah, they're like, I am so proud of this.
It's so cheap and cheesy looking.
I love it. I can't wait.
Probably this is the first movie where I'm like, I don't know what I'm going into. I don't even know if this is going to be like, this is going to qualify as horror, quite frankly.
That's a very good question. That's a good discussion to have probably at the end. We'll see.
Like,
we'll see what our results are.
Horror, or this is going to be like a dark comedy that guises as a horror.
Yeah.
I think this movie is around the average time, like 90-ish minutes.
Yeah.
And you know, the first Evil Dead was fine. The second Evil Dead was weird. Also, I'm just gonna note it now. I know going back to the last couple of episodes, they weren't great. Now, here's the reasoning. The first one, you probably sound like I just don't want to be there. Paige knows the real reason, which was I had 4 bottles of water next to me and I was dying from after Thanksgiving. The second one, which was, we recorded last week, you had a rough work week, and I double whammied myself. I was in a meeting for 5 hours and then proceeded to eat Burger King after that meeting. And then right when we started recording was when the crash happened. So I was like, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's a movie. It's fine. Now, I ate something good today, so I'll be back to normal.
I think we're good. So I'll be ready to jump into it. Are you?
I guess so.
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
Alrighty. We watched the movie. I hate Ash. He's a fucking scumbag.
Yes, he is.
He is the worst character of all Movie and a Haunt.
I think that's pushing it. There's a lot more.
He's even worse than Kurt Russell's ass in fucking The Thing, where he's like, I'm not going to wear any clothes.
But you do have to admit, or at least I will, Bruce Campbell has never been sexier than he has been in this movie.
He's worse than Dewey.
Wow. Those are some hurtful words right there.
I was like, I'm gonna. He's worse than the brother in Evil Dead 2013.
Shut your mouth.
I can't say that.
Shut your mouth.
I can't say that serious.
Anyways.
Because at least the brother in 2013 was hot.
Anyways, before I quit this podcast forever, and this truly is my last episode ever, not just in 2023. Yeah, we watched the movie. And let's talk about it first, and then we'll do what we thought about it.
Okay. So, here is the thing with this movie. I will officially say I hate Evil Dead for one reason. We change his origin story like once per movie
Every
at
time.
this point. We're like, he had this girlfriend. Now he got that girlfriend. Now he has a girlfriend with a short bob.
I think the only thing that's consistent is the name, his car, and that they go to a cabin. That's it.
One time she turns into a doll. Another time she sets up all the things to kick me in the face, and she never does. The final time, you don't even see her die. She just kind of gets kidnapped at this point. The beginning pissed me off. I was just like, we're doing this. And then also, the way Evil Dead 2 ends, where they're like, oh, let's suck Ash's dick. Yes. And now they're like, let's kill him. And
I feel like it's supposed to be, or they were told, we want this to be kind of a standalone where you don't have to have people see your movie beforehand, the first one or the first two in general.
I'm just asking for continuity.
Oh, you're not going to get that.
Where Evil Dead 2 ends, Evil Army of Darkness begins. That's
like
all I'm asking for on this. And like, I guess this is a product of like all these movies just fucking coming out 5 years apart.
Yeah, that could be a problem. The only continuity I can think of is that when we jump way ahead and then we go to Ash vs. Evil Dead, the show, there's continuity there.
It follows Army, right?
What?
It follows Army, doesn't it?
I believe so, yeah, because he works at S-Mart.
Yes. Also, I will say I don't hate Ash in Army. Not in Army. I don't hate Ash in Ash vs. the Evil Dead. He gets better.
Get better. I think because with age.
And Lucy
And
Lawless.
of course, Lucy
Lawless. So this movie starts, and this is, I'm going to be all over the place, so just bear with me on this. It begins with him being captured. Oh, sorry, my bad. Actually, it starts with a last time on The Evil Dead. I had another girlfriend. I fell through a portal. And now the name of this movie is Bruce Campbell versus Army of Darkness.
That's literally what happens. And then they use some footage from Evil Dead 2, and then there's reshoots mixed in as well. It was a very interesting choice.
The man has obviously aged in 5 years.
Of course.
Yeah. So has the film.
Though the one that we watched was in 4K, and you could tell it looked really, like, crisp.
I my favorite part was I loved seeing like the shots that definitely like of the film got fucked up because they would do a shot, it was like all staticky, and I was like, ooh, that is we had a hard time repairing that shot now, didn't we? Especially there was like a castle shot towards the end.
That's true.
I was like really into that. However, he's like, I'm going to die. My feet are gigantic. I have never noticed how big his feet are.
Oh, yeah, me neither. You're right.
He has clown feet.
It could be the shoes.
It could be. But I was like, your feet look like they should be making a squeaky noise when you walk with them. Either way, they're walking, and he's like, don't kill me, I guess. I don't know this red beard dude. Even though he obviously has what you would soon learn is very luscious hair compared to everyone else on Arthur's side. Because we see Arthur's a prick.
Yeah.
We love keeping that true. And Arthur's like, we're gonna do our thing, and then eventually he takes his. I just want to talk about Arthur's hair. Real quick.
Go ahead, get it out of the way.
I have to get this out of the way. It's so fucking ugly.
It's long, and then it has like short bangs. I think that's what it is.
I think it's because the bangs don't like blend into it. It's just like bang long. It's like, when we were looking at who has listened to us over the last year, they're like, your top 3, boom, boom, contemporary country. He looks like our fan base of a contemporary country.
No insult to that, of course.
I don't know. Maybe I'll be the insulter. Either way, it's ugly. He also has like, depending on the camera angle, he looks like a caveman.
Yeah, that's fair. I think because everyone's filthy.
Half the movie I thought he had a monobrow, and I was like, oh wait, there's two? Crazy.
I did like the
there's the twist. There's 2 eyebrows.
I like the part where the knights were like trying to stab his car. They're like, oh, the armor on this thing.
A lot of the ad-libs in the back
Oh,
were
it's fantastic. I love it.
And then we get to Arthur's motel, I guess, because people don't live there.
No, it's like a courtyard.
It's like yeah, people like everybody left here, and I'm like, I think they went home. I don't think there's enough to house people.
I mean,
here.
they're in the middle of a war, so I think everyone's just held up there for now. I think that's pretty much it.
And Henry's like, I'm Scottish, and I was like, you're sexy. Yeah. Speak. Arthur, shut the fuck up. Henry, speak. And then one guy gets killed.
It was so gruesome.
I was like, oh, so this is the basement door from last movie.
Yeah. He just like goes down the hole and it's like, oh, okay. Everyone's leaning in. Everyone's like, oh, what's going to happen? And then it just sprays shining blood. Like that amount of blood.
I still think the best one was from Evil Dead 2 because of how comedic it was. And also just when they cut, there's no blood anymore. I still think that's the best. Talking about cutting and things being fucking stupid, let's talk about hair.
Oh, his hair was all over the place.
I'm sorry.
The lengths of his hair changed so often, and the style, it's fine. It looks sexy every time, so I don't care.
See, but even then, like I don't pay attention, and I wasn't really able to notice maybe like little things. Sheila at the end, where she's in the pit and her hair is just done.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. And the next scene she cuts, Ash helps her out. She's like she just got a wet do. Curly. Like, I love how I don't even want to talk about the plot of this movie. Like I do with every Evil Dead movie. I don't want to talk about the plot. I want to talk about why their hair changes every scene.
It's fair.
Because it's kind of annoying at this point. It's ridiculous. Either way, Ash gets thrown down. And he fights.
It's a Deadite.
I guess they're Deadites.
They're definitely Deadites.
They kill one. He kills one. She's a cardio queen, is what we'll call her. She does the backflips, the somersaults,
The loop-de-loops.
does it all. Gets her head chopped off for it. And then the other one, actually, let's be honest here, the other one was a jump scare that actually got me when it comes out of the wall.
Oh, God, yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, that was good. I think these are probably what I would consider the cheapest looking Deadites of every movie.
Yeah, definitely the budget was put elsewhere. I wouldn't say it's terrible. They're just definitely different. I would give them a pass because we're like in the 1300s. So it could be a monster, it could be a person, you don't really know.
I think it was because they were very obviously like rubber latex.
Yeah, that's fair. I do like...
Evil Dead doesn't do good during daytime is all this taught me.
Yeah, I can get that. I liked when the wizard throws down his chainsaw and he's just like, boom. Oh, you can't see me. Duh. He's like Superman's and then like the chainsaw goes right onto his arm. It's pretty funny.
He beats some bitch asses.
He does.
And then comes up and he's like, Arthur, I'm going to punch you now.
Like, it's warranted. They were torturing him this whole time.
I need to prove my dominance, and I need to prove to everyone else here that you're
And
a
he
bitch.
looks crazy.
He is so dirty.
He's so done.
I love that in this movie, though. I just love that in this movie. When they clean him up, they actually give a plot reason why he's clean, and he's not just magically clean in the next scene. Because he was gross.
Oh, he was disgusting.
He was swampy.
Literally swampy.
And he's like, also, okay, side question. Where the fuck did he get his shotgun from?
It came in with him. Oh, you mean like out of nowhere when he grabs it? I don't know.
Yeah, like where he shoots the sword.
I have
like,
no idea. I was a little annoyed by that.
This is, by the way, this whole thing, this is the culmination of like 2.5 years of Paige wanting Evil Dead. She's been waiting for this moment. So the fact that she's like, it kind of annoyed me. It's kind of shocking.
Oh, no, I'll criticize things that I like. I'm not afraid of that.
You shouldn't do that.
Okay.
When you love something, it's never wrong.
You have to blindly love it. Completely.
You, like me and Thanksgiving. Do I see any flaws in that movie? No. It's a perfect masterpiece. Martin Scorsese wishes he could.
He could never. He could never.
Could never. James Cameron? Mm-mm.
Steven
Go
Spielberg,
make some more movies about blue people. Oh, this movie. This episode's going to go off the rails very, very quickly. This is what happens when you have us record 2 episodes back to back. When we don't take time off. All right. He's like, this is my boomstick. And I'm like, I know that line. And up next, I'm sorry. This is another thing. There's certain time periods I don't like. So when I see them, I kind of get a little annoyed because of the tropes. This form of like medieval Renaissance times, I hate this like character trope that they give Ash in this one. Kind of like it's the himbo. It's the himbo hero.
It's a very exaggerated. I wouldn't even call him himbo because he's very misogynistic here. I would just say he's just the stereotypical action macho quirky kind of obnoxious fucker, you know. That's pretty much all it is. But
it wasn't even him like with the women. I'm like, oh, stop eating the food like that, you fucking slob.
Yeah, and we know this is not Bruce Campbell. He's just acting as this character, and he does it very well. But yeah, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite trope either.
So my question I have right now, because you said last episode they love Three Stooges.
This was the most Three Stooges you'll ever get from them.
It was, but I have a secondary question. Do they like Monty Python?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I was gonna say the foreground was very Three Stooges, but all the stuff that was happening in the background with the ad-libs and everything was very Monty
Oh yeah,
Python.
you can tell right away. Even from Evil Dead 2, when we got our glimpse into this world, it was a Monty Python right off the bat. Especially the time period. If you're making a medieval comedy kind of thing, whether it's a dark comedy like this one or whatnot, in this time period, you're gonna be fucking ripping off Holy Grail, without a doubt.
Now, okay, I know I shit on Deadites. There are only 2 Deadites in this movie I like, and they're the same exact ones. They use the same exact tricks. It happens right now and right at the end. I like the one where they wind machine the fuck out of the Deadites.
Oh, yeah.
And the hair's flailing, and the camera's crazy, and the strobe lights are strobing.
Looks so good.
And they run, and okay, I'm starting to not believe you actually have motion sickness.
Why?
Because the cameras in these movies are sickening.
No, I was getting a little ill. I was looking kind of off camera for some of them, especially when they were going through the woods when we had the flashback. It was a little too much.
Yeah. How did you deal with the end? Like that final fight scene?
It was a lot.
The camera's very...
It was a
lot,
lot, yeah.
Okay, because while we were watching it, I was like, can she handle this? Because
it may look like I was looking right at the screen. I definitely wasn't.
This one's a little bit more subtle because this one's just more hard cuts between them. Just because they're in a room.
Real quick, I do want to say, just right off the bat, I do really enjoy Sam's camera work. I do like his hard cuts. I really like his hard zooms. He loves to play with camera angles. He loves to go straight, then do like kind of like a tilt on it. And also the power of editing is fantastic. But I like that he likes to experiment with the camera and it's not a complete static shot.
Even though Universal's like, we're going to give this to another editing company because we need this to be PG-13.
Yeah, I'm sure he was pretty disappointed about that.
The end of the movie definitely... When we got to the end with the fighting skeletons, I was like, yeah, I totally see the PG-13 because there's nothing here. I think all the rated R stuff is strictly within the first, like, I'd say 20 minutes. If that,
yeah. I mean... We see when they bring the women to the graveyard. What is that in the beginning?
I forgot about
the beginning, middle-ish of the movie.
The third act.
Yeah. That is probably as far as I would go because we see some nakedness. But other than that, nothing crazy.
Well, I actually did read something on this one. Supposedly, the scene that they really hated was the pits.
Too gruesome?
Yeah.
Really?
Supposedly, there was more that they ended up having to cut because it got NC-17 because
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
And then also when this movie did reshoots, can you guess which area they had to reshoot?
Please enlighten me.
The windmill.
Yeah. You know they did some crazy shit with that and the studio was like, no, fix that.
This is weird. Also, this movie had another ending originally. Yeah, the original ending, which got vetoed, was supposed to be he does his ritual, but he wakes up in like a post-apocalyptic London.
Oh.
And then he realizes he was asleep too long.
Oh.
Yeah. I think the Deadites would have probably taken over.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But I was like, that's depressing. It's very a Planet of the Apes.
Absolutely.
The way this movie ends, it's... In hindsight, probably for the best because Ash versus the Evil Dead can, bounce off this. I feel like with how Ash versus the Evil Dead season 3 ended, that was probably where they were going to go with like the original ending of Army of Darkness. However, Ash versus the Evil Dead season 3 sucks.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I will never defend that season.
No, 1 and 2 were good, and then it kind of went off the rails for me too, which was disappointing.
1 is really fun, especially with the electric.
Yeah, the setup is really good.
Yeah, the main Deadite, like the first Deadite of the first half of that season, I really enjoyed. And then season 2 was weird.
It was more Lucy, which I liked.
It was, and then season 3 Lucy's evil again.
Yeah, I didn't get it anyway, but whatever. We're talking about this one.
Back to the Army of Darkness. let's talk about this movie's dumb shit. Either way, they get into a fight. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's really well lit. The camera work's really good. Like you said, this Deadite is really great looking.
I love how Ash kind of was this. I feel like this was the only time Ash referenced that he knew how Deadites worked.
That scene was really good too because we're looking at the face of the Deadite and the eyes open, but the Arthur doesn't know. I thought that was cool.
And then Bruce is like,
"It's a trap."
It's a trap. Get an axe. Which I was like, okay, we're not forgetting these other movies existed and that he's already dealt with these things because this is what happened in 2 with the boyfriend who ends up becoming a Deadite. Is he goes to help and then he gets thrown, right? So it's literally just him remembering what happened. Yep. I like that because this entire movie, I was like, does he not? I would have been pissed if he did not know what the Deadites were. Either way, he wants to go back to his time, and this series MacGuffin is the only way he can get back there. Let's talk with Necronomicon in this movie. I hate it.
Why?
I hate the book.
Oh, like the physical looking book?
I hate the physical looking book.
Yeah, it's cheap as shit.
It's so fucking cheap.
It's really disappointing.
Especially because, I may say it, I think the first movie maybe had the best one.
Yeah, it really did. And that had no fucking budget.
No. I mean, of the original 3 movies, yes, the first movie had the best one. I do like the teeth in the remake,
me too.
Like the Book of Teeth.
Yeah.
That one was cool.
It was different. And in Rise, I did like the one in Rise.
Yeah. I just think of the original
The first
Necronomicon,
one.
like the one that we know with the face. It was really nice in the first movie as like a actual prop. When it was claymationed for the second movie at the beginning, I liked it. It looked fine. This movie, it was like just a book. It was a flat book. It had very little engraving on it, and I get it. It's like it's the original version of the book, and this is what it like what we see in number 1's what it will end up being. But there was like no texture.
And the coloring was very flat. Like it didn't pop at all. It wasn't a very exciting prop piece.
Yeah. That is my issue with the Necronomicon in this movie. However, I do feel like this is the first time that book actually fucking mattered. Most of the time, it's the MacGuffin that summons the Deadites. I think the only other movie this really mattered in is Rise. I think it had the most significance in Rise because it kind of precursored what everything was going to end up being. And in 2013, it kind of showed what each person was going to... Didn't it do like, you know, each page showed what was going to happen with another person?
Yeah,
like when the face got ripped off. Yeah. I just like watching this final movie and comparing it to all the rest because this is the first time we've watched a 5-movie franchise and we didn't hate our lives.
Crazy.
I think it's just probably we spaced them out. So we watched like 2 first, and then we watched the final 3 last. So it was like, it wasn't 5 weeks of Evil Dead.
It worked out well.
So they're like, in order for you to get back to your time, you got to find this book with a person's face on it. Also, this is going to be a main quest, so you have to remember
and
shit.
Only you can do this main quest, O Chosen One, and you have to remember these 3 words. Can you do that, you pea-brained human? No? Great.
I was like, listen.
Could we write it down?
You just spoke... You spoke Jim. Okay, yes, you could have written it down, but if you're expecting him to like remember, I'm like,
we should have just wrote it down. They have pen and paper.
Exactly. This would have been over. The movie would have been over in like 20, 40 minutes? Either way, they take him. Oh, I guess he's sweet. I walked out of the room to take a leak.
Oh, okay, so let me tell...
He's talking to Sheila.
God. Okay, so they have a thing. He's a complete fucking asshole to her. She made him a cape or a scarf or something, whatever the fuck. He's like, great, it's a horse blanket.
Oh, is that what was around his neck the entire time? Okay, I was wondering why he got
it was either that or the
blue
shirt he was wearing. I don't remember. Then she slaps him, And then she storms out, and he goes after her, and he roughly gets her, and then he's like, give me some sugar, baby. And then they kiss, and then they have a thing. And again, this goes back to the whole, it's an archetype, right? That this is the whole point. This is the caricature that he's playing. Is Ash really like that? Yes and no, but he's mostly putting on a bravado.
I will say my favorite Ash was the first movie's Ash.
Oh yeah, he was a good boy there.
He was very nice. His hair was a fucking mess. He had no idea how to style it, and I will say, Army of Darkness, best hair. So if we can take, Evil Dead 1 Ash, but with Army of Darkness's hair, yes. Best Ash. And he has both hands. Perfect world. Either way, they're like, get on this horse. And this is when I reveal to you that horses scare me.
And I love horses, so.
Horses freak me out. Because they can kill you. Like, they can just back kick you and they'll fucking murder you. A rat?
Disease.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Dust?
Allergies. Severe allergies.
You can survive that, I promise. I promise you can survive that. I do it. I'm alive still. Either way, he goes on his own. And thankfully the horse doesn't leave his side.
The whole time, I was so surprised. Here for the long haul.
Eventually he just like gets to a windmill.
Yeah, it's part of his journey.
Well, he gets chased to the windmill because of
this is the craziest.
Deadite cam.
This is definitely the craziest part of this movie.
Also, the Deadite cam, when he gets chased by it.
I wanted to vomit.
But this also fully confirms Evil Dead looks like shit during daytime. The only time this movie got really good looking was when it was nighttime. Outside of Evil Dead Rise, when it had like that brief cold open during the day, that was different. I will give them the pass for daytime Evil Dead time. Either way, he gets to a cabin, locks himself inside, and he's like screaming like a little bitch.
Yeah, they do some classic horror elements with the door trying to be broken into and everything. Then he's warming himself by the fire that he made. He sees himself in the mirror. He breaks said mirror, and then from the little mirror pieces, little ashes come out.
Oh, hold up. We forgot something. I'm so sorry. We forgot the very calm, patient, slow making of his hand.
Oh, actually, I really liked that. I forgot we completely skipped that.
It was, I felt like, on my end, how I interpret it was a parody of the last movie.
Easily.
Yeah, because the last movie was very frantic. This one was like very calm. I don't think it had a soundtrack.
No, it was all Foley.
Yeah. It was very. If it wasn't a parody of the last movie and they were like trying to make it like that, like it failed, but as a parody, it succeeds. And then he crushes the chalice with his hand. I do. The hand is cool. I wish it came more into use in the movie.
It was also so Bruce could use his hand and they don't have to like make up everything for all of that, you know.
Yeah. And also, it would have been really hard. So basically, in this movie, what they had to do was like, if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, then you watch Dragon Ball GT, and they were like, how do we make Goku not beat everything's ass? Make him a kid. In this movie, it was like, how do we make Ash just not chainsaw everything? Because we literally just saw that if he has his chainsaw, he bodies everything. Give him a metal hand. Because
it nerfs him right quick.
Yeah. We saw the chainsaw. He took out how many? Like 3?
With one swipe.
And yeah. Also, I don't know how he still had bullets for a shotgun.
Don't question it.
I question a lot of stuff. Like how he was able to be such a good shot at the beginning of the movie, and then he missed 95% of his shotgun shots at the end. He missed so many shots, Paige.
It's for show.
I was like, is it because it's not sawed off? Is that the
His
issue?
aim was way off.
It's a full shotgun. That I would say that ending, that annoyed me. I was like, She's not moving. She's not even dodging. She's just standing there. What the fuck? Either way, he sees tiny little ashes, which are very obviously not Bruce Campbell.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. There's some body doubles, obviously.
There's a lot. I was like, oh, that's not Bruce Campbell. I could tell.
A lot of physical comedy from Bruce. This is some of his specialty. I think he really shines when he does this stuff, especially because it's against himself. It takes a lot of talent to do this.
I was cool with this part. I started to get annoyed with the skeleton hands.
Yeah.
It
was too much.
It felt like, exactly. It felt like it was 20 minutes of gags.
You're right. This part was good. Obviously, Gulliver's Travels was parodied here. That's pretty much it. It was some fun times. This is the most. It's the Three Stooges.
This was the Three Stooges, without a shadow of a doubt. Either way, he gets knocked out, and one of them does a nice little 10 out of 10 dive into his mouth, and I don't know why. I guess I don't like boiling water type of stuff. But he drinks boiling water and like tries to kill the little tiny ash, and then the eyeball on the shoulder was fucking.
I hated
gross.
it. I hated it. It was cool for sure, but I hated it.
It was very Resident Evil in like a grand scheme of things. We get the birth of Evil Ash.
I love the dummy. His dummy self.
Oh, the fucking dummy that's like prosthetic onto him. Oh man, I was like, you couldn't have shot that like a little further.
And then
away.
at some points, it looks really good, like with his double and him. Like there's certain points in this movie where the practical effects of that and like the mix of special effects are very well done, and then others they're just like, it was either a reshoot and they had to do it real quick, you know.
Now, here's the moment where they split apart. This is where I start to get annoyed with the movie for like 20 minutes. Because here's the thing. While the beginning was ridiculous, they allowed stuff to breathe. For like at least a minute, they just let stuff breathe a little bit. This was like 20 minutes of just fucking stupid gags. The one in the house was fine. I enjoyed it. Then with the stupid fucking evil Ash dancing and like talking like a child, that started to annoy me. And then Ash kills him and I'm like, thank you. Thank you for that. And he buries the head. The conversation with the head's fantastic. I love that. Back to we wanted this movie to be PG-13. Where it doesn't show him dissecting or cutting the head off. It just kind of alludes to it, which is very anti-Evil Dead.
But I don't think their hands were tied at this point.
The fact that Ash did not end up in a pool of blood just bathing him, it's very anti-Evil Dead. Either way, he makes it to the cemetery, and we have probably the best gags of the movie, because one is kind of cool, the other one is goofy, but it just got preceded by something that was really cool, so it's kind of like a new thing. So the first one, he gets turned into a rubber man.
Yeah, even with the sound effects, a lot of Looney Tunes.
Yes. I intentionally, while we were watching this, I was like, did this come out before or after The Mask? Because this is very The Mask. And it came out 2 years before, so.
I wonder if they might have drawn some inspiration, at least for how to film it.
That's true. The second one I enjoyed was the biting book that just attacks him.
Did you hear the voiceover, too, when he throws the book? It's like, the book, like, yells. It's so cute.
Yes. It's like, I think the reason why I'm cool with it is because it's kind of like The Hand from the last movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's not meant to be taken super seriously, but it's also short enough to where it doesn't annoy me. What happens next is the next gag, I'll say, is the reason why it annoys me is it goes on way too long.
Yeah, is this a time thing? Is this because this came out in late 1992, early 1993, with him forgetting the words and then he assuming the last word is a very derogatory word.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. I really, really hated that.
Either way, this scene ends quickly.
Yeah.
And then we get this. I hate this next scene because this one goes on this gag goes on way too fucking long with the skeleton hands.
On the floor.
It goes on so long. I'm like, okay, the hands come out, fantastic. And they keep doing face gags with him. And it feels like it should stop after 3, but it goes on for like 15. And I'm like, okay, at what point are you going to try to grab him in the pants? Because that's like how this gag always fucking ends. And guess how the gag fucking ends? Wow. And then it's over, and it like does nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I would get it if it was a little goofball thing, and it was like maybe it happens 3 times, and he gets up and he runs away. That's fine. And he gets on his horse, and the horse is like, "Let's get the fuck out of here, dude." But for like, it felt like a minute. But we are saved by Evil Ash coming back to life and looking fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
The budget went to Evil
Did you
Ash.
notice that he has a rope around his head to keep his jaw connected to his face? Yeah, it's really funny. They have a gag later on near the end of the movie where he's trying to say kind of a tongue twister and he can't.
I think it's fourth
and his jaw drops. It's funny.
Yep. Ash makes it back. Ash is like, "I kept my part of the deal.
Send me back home."
I said enough of the words.
I said maybe something like it.
And everyone's like, "You disappointed us. You're not actually macho.
You're not
And that like breaks
the chosen one." And so he's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to be the chosen one now."
And we get a poor man's version of Make a Man Out of You.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Very poor man's version. Yes, Mulan came after, but this is that's peak. This is like down in like the gallows.
So we soup up the car. We kind of train the army. What else?
We teach him a 3-move combo.
Oh yeah,
we
learn.
That's what we teach.
We
him.
learn chemistry to make gunpowder. I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Forgot to mention, Deadites are alive. Sheila gets taken by
Evil Ash. Oh,
Evil Ash and his like rejected from the TV show Gargoyles friend.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then he's like, "Let's lick each other." And she's like, "Ew." And I was like, this is very Nightmare. Like when we watched Nightmare Part 3 and he's like, "Let's kiss." And she was like,
and then her top's gone when we cut back to this.
Magically.
It just
magically. This is no top.
And then the other girls coming in, also no tops. And we're just like, oh okay.
Sure.
With skeletons?
I guess they were like,
okay.
"Oh man, I have a dream job now. I just want to be the person who throws skeletons at Bruce Campbell." I just want to be that guy. Just like, skeleton.
Arm.
Did you beat that one up? Exactly. Oh, the amount of just when the skeletons come in, because it becomes very mannequin when they kill them. It's so funny to watch.
Okay, let's just put this out there. I absolutely love the skeletons in this movie. I think they look so good. The movement is so fun. They all have personality, which is hard to do when they don't have facial expressions, but they kind of do. I don't know. I think they did a really, really good job here.
And now Sheila is bad.
And she has crazy hair.
And it feels so good. When we remake this movie, Sheila would be played by Taylor Swift.
Yes. That would be hilarious, though.
It would. Let's be honest here. That would totally work. Either way, Evil Ash is like, I need the book. Where's the book? And one of the skeletons like, yeah, it's probably up there.
Yeah, that was really funny.
It's the highest point of the tower. Sure.
So, honestly, some of the comedy in this is so well executed. Like others, it's like very ridiculous. Other times, it's very good, just really good.
I think the best comedy in this movie is not in the kind of like the visual gags. It's just in the writing.
It's clever.
And all the stuff that's funny visually in this movie is not meant to be funny. Like the horse trainer taking Evil Ash and Sheila's horse to the top of the rock with her like goofy little skeleton mask.
Very.
And she's just like, she's like taking like little baby steps, and then the horses stop. She like almost falls over because like the horses are like tugging on her. And I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be watching those two, but I'm watching the character development that is this horse trainer trying to keep these two things under check. And then like the other one where they're all riding their horses, and then they're like all the horses are stopping, and one of the horses just fucking decides to parallel park in the middle of the group of fucking horses. And I'm like, and like you can see the person riding the horse is like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Sometimes you can't control them fully. And that was probably the best shot that they had, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna go with it.
We're just gonna go with the yellow horse just parking sideways here. Either way, we begin our fight. It's okay for a few seconds. Yeah, it's fine. But then all the skeletons start blowing up, and it's fantastic because they're just mannequins that are posed. Yes. I love it.
It's so good.
I fucking love it. It's amazing. And also, I just love that they have like, because these things are not a lot of money.
No.
Like for skeletons, they're not a lot of money. So like, blow them up.
Pyrotechnics.
Explode.
Everyone loves fire.
So we start blowing shit up. Oh, by the way, all this is happening. I just need to make sure everyone knows this. Arthur's hair is still fucking ugly.
Oh yeah, it never gets better.
There's like one time where it gets wet, and I'm like, it's acceptable because like it's kind of messy,
blending,
and it kind exactly like when it was messy, it was blending, and then the next fucking shot in the same area, like it's still like maybe 2 seconds later from when his hair was wet, it's just freshly blow dried. I'm like,
God damn it, they ruined it.
It's gross again. Can we bring Henry back, please?
We do. Spoiler alert.
Oh, I know. I was like, I miss Henry. He had hair that was like... He had good hair, and he had good facial hair. Arthur had neither. We get a fight, and we start fighting. Eventually, they use one of my favorite words. Buttress.
It's a good word.
I love that word. It doesn't get used in normal
it's a great Scrabble word.
Conversation. It can't be. It is. Either way, they're like, bring the buttresses! And the skeletons break through. And shit just starts to go crazy. We get... Probably what's the best part of this movie is the fight. And just seeing all the skeletons explode. And just...
Using swords... using spears.
It's quite literally Ash, Evil Ash, and a bunch of cannon fodder.
Yes.
Just hundreds of cannon fodder at this point. 1 second. All right, I'm back. We fight. Everyone's like, we're getting overpowered. And Ash is like, I got a car with a fan tip on it. Go me. And we do like these between the leg shots of the skeletons, and they're all just obviously mannequins standing still, like in a Y pose and an
or
A
they
pose.
Just literally threw them on the ground. And they're like, yeah, just run over it, I guess.
And then eventually he gets out because he sees Sheila, and she's like, woman with fire at this point, I guess.
Which wrecks the car. So stupid.
And then there's skeletons, and then there's like someone behind the camera that's throwing skeletons over his camel. They're like, catch it now, grab its head and throw it. Do this one, punch it in the face a little, throw it. Yeah. And then Sheila, and then he starts climbing the castle wall because Evil Ash is near the Necronomicon at this point. I think Arthur gets stabbed or
arrowed. He gets arrowed a bunch. Then I think when all hope is lost, Henry's coming down the hill with his army.
Henry's army. By the way, I love how early in the movie Arthur's like, "This is all we have," and it's like 5 people. It felt like it was like 5 people. Sam's brother was one of them with an ugly ass hair.
I fucking love when Ted pops into these movies. He's not only just here, but when we go back in the future, at the end of the movie, he's the clerk he's telling the story to. It's great.
With normal fucking hair.
Normal. It's normal Ted with glasses.
Oh my God, Arthur. I could never follow you.
It's the bad hair club.
Your hair game is just ugly. And here comes Henry. Beautiful hair. Beautifully sexy Scottish accent. Here to save the day with like his 300-man army at this point.
They're well prepared.
I was like, you gonna beat their ass how, Arthur? You have like 5 people in a bologna sandwich. This dude has like I think this dude has more horses than your entire population of people at this point. Henry arrives. I'm happy because I'm like, oh, beautiful hair. It's not great, but for this movie, it's a sight to behold. And Ash is like, I'm going to go fight Evil Ash. And they get to the top of the castle, I guess. And then Sheila arrives. She's like, you loved me. He's like, you fucking ugly. And get into the fire. Whoop. And then Evil Ash is like, the book is mine. He's an 80s cartoon. He's Skeletor. He's literally Skeletor.
This is like his second time getting fired. And then he comes out and he's very cartooned. Like cartoony eyes and everything. And like they fight for a little bit. It's a great fight. It's kind of goofy. It's on stairs. We love it. I wish the trailer didn't show the entire fucking end of the movie at this point. The 90s have a big problem with this. I feel like the issue with the end of the movies getting shown in the trailer definitely starts in the 90s now. Either way, they fight. He gets torched and turns into just a skeleton with some bloodshot eyes is the best way I can put it. And how does he... Oh, he gets yeeted. Yes, he does.
I'm like, the movie's like getting close to ending. I'm like, okay, where's the explosion? Because the way these movies ends, there's always like this really cheap looking explosion.
Yeah, they just had a bag of gunpowder on a cart, and Evil Ash he does a bunch of somersaults, lands on it, and then poof, there he goes.
So he's dead. And they're like, Ash, in order for you to get back now, you need to say the words
correctly.
Correctly. No more himbo.
He's like, yeah. I got it.
And then Sheila's like, why can't you stay with me? And he's like, because you probably die from dysentery. So like, I'm going to go back and work at S-Smart.
I'm going back to air conditioning.
We're just going to come and you're all going to die. And at the end, the movie ends in S-Smart.
With him telling the story to a very bored Ted. And he's like, yeah, whatever, dude. You're totally making this shit up. And then an old lady turns into a Deadite.
Which I would believe if he didn't have a fucking armored hand.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're a coworker and you're like, yeah, Ash is just a really weird dude. He likes to wear his LARPing cosplay to work.
He probably smokes the weed when he's at home.
He absolutely does. No question.
And then we have another girlfriend. I'm like, no, not another one.
Already?
Please. I can't keep track of them all. And she's like, I heard your story. It was really hot. And he's like, thank you.
I think the worst part here is the crime against his hair when he goes back to S-Mart.
You mean when he gets like that super gel?
I hate it so much. I'm like, what did you do?
We're like, if you go and touch his hair, you can like
it cracks.
Peel a part of it off. You know that his gel was in like a blue bottle that they like that just squeezed out, and they were like, and you heard just the mushiness of the clear blue gel, and they put it back. And they were like, it's not enough. We need the entire bottle. That gel is always at the 99-cent store. It's every guy's first gel when they're young. And it's the equivalent of like hairspray.
Oh, yeah.
In the 80s. It's like, that's their equivalent. When a guy has that much hair gel, they're a walking fire hazard.
Oh, yes, very much.
And he has that stupid fucking like...
one curl.
Ugh, those piss me off. If you're going to do a swoop, just let your entire hair do the swoop. Like, go part up in the air, then part swoop down. Don't have just one little tinge of hair. To where, like, if I took your little swoop and I put it up in the air, you look like Needlehead. He fights a old, young...
mixed.
Middle-aged woman?
An aged woman of some sort. Again, like you...
I can confirm she was one of the women of all time.
Like you said earlier, this Deadite looks really, really good.
It's the same trope from the one.
Oh yeah,
movie.
yeah. But visibly, it looks really good. They do a really crazy fight, really over the top. This is signature Ash.
Ash misses 95% of his shotgun shots. Also, I guess shotguns have like 36 shots per reload.
Now they do, apparently.
At S-Mart, they do. The movie ends and girl's like, "Oh my god, you're so sexy. You killed that woman."
And then they have they have that classic lean kiss, and then that's it.
Finn.
Movie roundup. What did we think?
Oh, this is hard.
I'll go first then.
You go.
It's a good time. It's fun. It's so goofy. Are there parts that I don't like? Of course. What movie isn't like that? Again, Bruce shines in this movie. There's a lot with the skeletons, practical special effects that I like. The goofiness can be a little over the top sometimes, like you mentioned, but other times it's just fun. Overall, I'd probably give this... It's not a horror movie to me. I would say this is just a silly, goofy, dark comedy. I wouldn't even call it a dark comedy, maybe. I don't know. But it doesn't feel like your classic horror movie. So just as watchability and enjoyability, I'd probably give this about a 6.5. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you, by the way. I heard you talking to your boo while we were watching the movie, and you were like, "Oh, it's the cry from Xena." What was the cry from Xena?
Oh, yeah. So Evil Ash, I think when they're charging in to the castle, at some point, he does the Xena cry, the ay. It was funny. And this is...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And then this is before Xena, so I just thought it was really funny.
Okay. Back to the movie. Ash, hate him. Bruce, love him. Arthur destroys this movie. Henry, sexy Scottish accent. The sexiest of accents. The gags, kinda. God,
it's a hit and miss.
This movie wasn't so gag heavy. I'd be better. Giving it a better rating. Some of the gags hit. It's just some of them just going way too long.
They do have a bad track record with that later on too.
Evil Dead should not be shot during the film. Sorry, should not be filmed during the day. It should not be shot during the film. No, it shouldn't be shot during the day. Also, severe lack of fog machines.
Yeah. Well, I guess because daytime mostly.
Yeah, but even when it was
Yeah.
nighttime, it was like they had like a fog
that's
machine. It
true.
felt like. I just always think like I think Evil Dead 2 is what did it because Evil Dead 2 was very fog heavy. Movie ridiculous. I'd give it like a 6.
It's not bad. It's you put it on, it's like, oh haha, you know.
I can now say, now that we've done this, we're about to do something crazy. We're not making a haunt.
I don't think we'd be capable. I mean, I can't.
Right now, we're gonna do a debate.
Oh, what?
A debate.
What is that?
A debate.
Oh, a debate.
D-E-B-A-T.
A debate.
A debate.
Okay.
We are going to agree and talk. And we're going to rank these movies 1 through 5.
Oh,
1 being
fuck.
the best, 5
all
being
of them. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to throw the one I think is the best
Rise.
first. 2013.
Fuck no. Rise is probably it.
I think Rise was fine until the end.
That's fair.
Let's go with the worst because I think we could both agree what was probably the worst. I think it's 2.
No. Well,
I think 2 is the weakest.
I would say it's not terrible, but you're right. The weakest of them. I'll give it that.
It definitely feels like it wanted to be one. It wanted to be Army, but it couldn't.
It was
be
stuck
either.
in the middle. But I think that's also. I don't think that's just on Sam and Renaissance Pictures.
No.
That had a lot to do with behind the scenes, just like Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah. After that, and now I think this is where you and I are gonna start. Maybe disagreeing. I think Army of Darkness would be next.
See, to me, Army of Darkness is such an outlier. I don't even consider putting it in with this because it's...
Okay, so let's keep Army of Darkness out because it doesn't have the Evil Dead name. After that, if you're asking me, I would have put Evil Dead Rise.
So for me, it would go best to worst. It would probably go Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead 20, whatever the fuck.
13.
And Evil Dead 2. But I know I said that I liked Evil Dead 2 more than 1, but it's because it's goofier and it has personality. Evil Dead Regular is a good classic horror movie.
I was probably going to go Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead Rise. By the way, Evil Dead 2 is the only one that's like very much the weakest to me. The other 3, I just have to put them in order.
Right.
It would be Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead, and then 2013. Going back and thinking about 2013, I'm like, a lot of the stuff I think it had was just a lot of fun. I love MaaH.
I think a lot of the homage to Evil Dead and the franchise itself was what made me really like the 2013. What is it? 2013.
2013.
That's what made me like it a lot.
I love the ending. To
Yeah.
That movie, the final fight where she's like with the fire. Like it's a beautiful.
I agree.
Ending.
I think that's very well done. Overall, it's not one of my favorite, but I do like elements of it. So it kind of I remember it a lot more. Evil Dead Regular is a good classic horror movie. Evil Dead 2 is trying things. It's different, but it hits the mark because it's so mixed up with its personality.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead Rise.
The original Evil.
Go ahead. Okay.
You go first.
Evil Dead Rise is just really fucking good. I don't know what it is. I think it just the tone of it was really fucking good, and it was quirky. It was weird at the same time. Because the 2013 one, was very serious. There wasn't a lot of goofiness, which is in the blood of the franchise.
Yeah. The reason why I liked, I think one of my favorite things of 2013 was when she was like, how can you not smell it? It's a dead fucking body in this house. How can you not smell that? And it was like, what? What do you smell? I also love, what's her name? She has tweezers in her purse.
Oh, yeah. We called her Jessica.
Jessica. I love Girlfriend, where she's like, we should just fucking left.
She's so true on that, too.
And when she cuts her arm off with the meat
she was
grinder,
badass, dude. She was fucking badass.
I still think, I'm going to say this right now, no matter what we watched this entire series, the grossest fucking scene was still that fucking box cutter or whatever it was with the tongue.
I fucking hated it. It's right.
That was still the grossest thing.
It's right up there with the cheese grater. It's right there.
I think that I forgot about the cheese
I'll
grater.
never forget it.
I think it's because they don't show the entire grade.
Can we shut the fuck up about it? I don't even want to think about it.
With the tongue, they show it going, and then like they show her like, it's gross.
Shut the fuck up.
I also love Jessica's Deadite form, where she has the nails in her head. And I also like to believe the idea that the Deadite left her body right at the end for her to be confused why she was dying.
Like I said.
I loved the idea.
Like I said, there was a lot of really good elements of that movie.
Cold opening sucked.
Yeah.
Cold opening sucked.
I think, just to wrap this up, because we're taking forever with this.
No. Last movie was short. We go long here.
To wrap it up, all of these movies have great elements. I don't think there's a weak, this movie's a 2. That you're not going to get this with this franchise.
I think the reason why it's hard to rank everything besides Rise is this. Every other movie doesn't excel at one specific thing. They're pretty much, they choose, out of like the 4 things you can be, they choose 2, and they choose to be good at those 2, and usually the other 2 will flounder. Yeah. And that's why every movie, what we were talking about, it's not funny. It's too serious. It's not serious enough. It's not gory. It's too gory. It's not gross. It's too gross. Evil Dead Rise chose all 4. Instead of going like, hey, we're going to excel at all of them, they're like, no, we're going to do good. We're just going to be good with all of them. So it just was the most consistent.
And that makes me really excited, with especially how much that movie made. It makes me really excited and hopeful that they're going to continue this and do it justice.
I think that movie made more money than all the other Evil Dead.
Yeah, fuck yeah, together. That's great.
But that was Evil Dead 3, Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness, or Army of Darkness.
Bruce Campbell verse, Army of Darkness.
Which is Army of Darkness. This movie has a lot of names, as you can tell. Now, since this was Paige's franchise, the next time we do a franchise, it'll be mine.
Great.
And the last time we did it, we had our most popular episodes of the year according to Spotify. Thanks, Hellraiser.
I don't understand. But anyways, this has been a fabulous year for Movie and a Haunt. I know we just started our season free-for-all, but thank you so much for joining us for 2023. And if you have been joining us since the beginning, thank you. Please join us for 2024. We will be kicking the year off with Five Nights at Freddy's.
5 nights.
So if you haven't seen it, see it over the break. See it over, New Year's. See if you want to try it out. If you did watch it, come talk to us about it when we put our episode out. We'd love that. We are Movie and a Haunt on YouTube. We are Movie and a Haunt on Spotify. And I guess we'll catch you guys next time.
See you next
Happy
year.
New Year. Happy Hanukkah. It just passed. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. And if you don't celebrate, have a great, happy, and healthy New Year.